Well, here it is, guys. I know it's been a few weeks since I posted. For those of you guys that are following the channel, there used to be a big table saw here, and well, I sold it to supplement a few parts, Yukon gears, a few tools, and in the process of selling it, I was assisting someone moving it, and it fallen on a foot of mine, and been a little under the weather for the last few weeks, so I apologize about that. So in order to do gears, and as I walk over here and show you the old Dana 30 on the floor, low pinion, I went over to Harbor Freight and I picked up a couple things. Right here I got a dial indicator, magnetic base, a micrometer, and a fish scale, and a homemade tool that I will explain in a moment. I also picked up this 20-ton press for the bearings, and I have this old orbital sander. And basically what I did is I took apart the old ring and pinion from the high pinion 30, and I took all the bearings. Well, I took the two carrier bearings and I honed them out on the inside with this, not this exact attachment, and then I took the race on the pinion and grinded that down. So I had some setup bearings, and I took the 373 carrier out of the low pinion, put it in the high pinion, reset it all up, got a good backlash, got a good pinion depth, and obviously my preload. And then I swapped everything off and put it together for good. So I used the micrometer for the shims, the gosh, I can't think of the name, dial indicator for the backlash. I'm running about a 7. They want you to be between 6 and 10, so I'm like a 7, 7.5. Pattern looks good on the paint. I didn't have a 1-inch torque wrench, or inch-pound torque wrench, so I found out, so I made this thing up. Basically, it hooks onto the yoke, and you hook the, sorry, I try to do this one-handed. You hook the fish scale onto this hook, and it's exactly 6 inches from here to here. So as you pull, the scale measures a reading. I think it was getting like 2.5 pounds when I pulled. Basically 2.5 pounds times 6 for 6 inches. I got my desired pounds per square inch when turning the pinion for my preload. So I was pretty happy with that. So like I said, the gear's set up nicely, and here's everything starting to go back in. It's just hand tight right now. I used some of my etch primer and hammer black and redid my lower control arms and my springs. They were getting a little rough. I also did, I don't know if you guys can see them or not. Well, I relocated my bump stops. I bought some Energy bump stops out of Advance, and I kind of fabbed up a bolt with an extension, and I hollowed out a couple of hockey pucks and cut them with a 1-inch, no, maybe like 1.5 inches hole saw, and I bolted them in. I really wound the red Loctite on these, so they shouldn't move. Let me see if I can get you guys a better photo of what we're looking at here. It's nighttime, so I don't have the greatest of light, but you can kind of see. You really can't. Hold on 1 second. Boom. All right, here's what we're looking at. So you can see I got the Energy bump stop, and then I got my 2 hockey pucks. And I actually bolted it from the top down in, believe it or not. Once I blew all the dirt and dust and stuff out, went right back together. So over here, like I said, I haven't torqued anything down. Front drive shaft went in kind of tough, but it's hanging pretty good. So it's not exactly lined up, but hopefully tomorrow I'll get everything torqued to spec, greased everything, and get the wheels back on it and go ahead and move it forward and back it in and do the rear. Like I said, 456s, they came together pretty well. Be patient if you ever attempt to do this by yourself. It takes some time, but get yourself a nice set of setup bearings and races, and you should be good to go. Like I said, I went to Harbor Freight, picked up some fairly inexpensive tools, and got it done. So other than that, I think that's about it. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have another video of it on the ground. Maybe the Dana 44 will get done, and we can go from there. If you like what you see, obviously subscribe, but I will have a new video out very soon. Have a good night.